Okay, Alex, you asked, can I explain how I trade to somebody? And I'm going to do my very best to explain to you how I trade in under 5 minutes. Okay, so none of this is pre-planned, so bear with me here. Okay, all right. What I have on my screen is just this. It's a 1 day chart of the YM futures contract. You can see here daily. This is a daily chart. I've got MACD here, MACD. You can use any oscillator, and I've got volume. That's all I'm showing right now. Oh, daily chart, MACD, and volume. All right, simple, right? All right. Now the first thing I'm going to do on this is I'm going to turn on a indicator that shows me a 200 period 1 minute moving average. All right, I've added that to my chart. Okay, that's the only indicator that I've now added to my chart. So now I've got a 1 minute 200, MACD, and volume. All right. Now, what am I looking for here? What is the very first thing that's going to show me the areas of interest that I'm most interested in on this chart? I'm going to use fair value gaps for that. All right. So I'm going to go here to my little handy dandy indicator list and go to fair value gap, which is provided by Lux Algo. And I'm going to mark it to the chart. So it's going to follow whatever time frame I've got here, currently 1 day. It's going to show me where the gaps are. Okay, the gaps are, let's say you have a big move and the high of the prior day never touches the low of the following day. It's going to create an opening there, a gap that is going to want to be filled, right? That's what happens with fair value gaps. Price wants to go back in and mitigate those gaps, okay? So that's what's going to happen, and that's what usually does happen, and that's one of the main ways that I find trades. But daily gaps are, kind of big. They don't come around too often. So not only am I going to mark the day gaps, okay, I'm also going to mark the next couple time frames down, which are going to be 4-hour gaps and 1-hour gaps, okay? So I'm just going to mark that up real quick and call it a green 1 day fair value gap, okay? Green because was made on the way up. All right, so now what else do we want to find? We're going to want to find the next one down, which is a 4-hour, okay? So let's take a look at the 4 hours. Here's one that was created overnight. So let me mark that one up real quick. And what's going to happen here is that price is going to want to come back in and find its balance point by getting into that 4-hour gap and mitigating it. Right? And then I found a couple more here that were green on the way up, and I've marked them here. Okay, so because why? These are 1 hours. All right, the 1 hour was created. This 1 hour was created here between these 2 points, and this one was created between these 2 points. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with right now. All right, so now I've got a couple red ones here also on the 1 hour. Let's mark those up too. This one overlaps the green one. Interesting, right? All right, let's take a quick look at this. And then we're going to go to our 15-minute chart. I'm going to mark this one. And that is a 1 hour. Style is red. Text is a 1 hour. It's a red 1 hour FVG, right? Same for this one up here. It was created by the low of this one not reaching the high of this one. This is the one that created the gap, this candle. All right, mark that one up. All right, well, my 5 minutes is up, but I'm going to take a little bit longer. Now we're going to jump down to 15-minute charts. All right, we're not going to actually mark the 15-minute fair value gaps. We're just going to use the ones that we already have. All right. All right. So we got a 15-minute chart. Now the very first thing we need to do on the 15-minute chart is qualify our direction. And if MACD is pointing down on the 15-minute chart, then we're only allowed to take shorts, okay? Same thing if it's pointing up, we're only allowed to take longs, all right? So we're taking a look here. We're seeing the overnight price action. This is the London Open, Friday, 3 o'clock a.m. New York time. We got a pretty strong flush to the downside. What happens when it comes to this green 1 hour fair value gap? It comes to the bottom of it, bounces right off the bottom of it. See that? Bounces right off the bottom of it. And if the reason it didn't mitigate the gap and make it disappear is because if you look on a 1 hour chart, the 1 hour red candle never closed below the line, so it's still active. All right. Anyway, back to the 15-minute chart. Here's what I'm doing. I am looking for price to bounce off this 1 minute 200 1 minute 200 period moving average. I don't remember what this one is here. Oh, that's just a brush stroke. Okay, that's nothing. All right, I'm going to take that off. All right, this is your 1 minute 200 period moving average. All right, so we're looking for price to rebound off this, change color, and continue down. So that's just exactly what happened here. You can see that price came down for the London session. All right, bounced off the bottom of the 1 hour fair value gap, came up to the 200 period moving average, and came to the dead middle of this other fair value gap here that was created. And this one right here. Okay, this is a 15-minute. We're not marking it, but it's there. We know it's there. All right, so it came to the dead middle of this 15, bounced once, came down, bounced again, put in a double top, and changed color to red. Now that's our signal to enter. Why? Our MACD is still pointing down. It curled up because of this bounce, but that's just a correction. This is your indication. This is your correction. This is your continuation wave. And your continuation wave is confirmed when you have a red candle, 15-minute red candle that has color changed right here in this section right here after glancing off the 1 minute 200. So you come up to the 200, you change color, and your entry is right there. Okay. Your entry short position would be right here at this completion of this. Your stop's up here, and you're going for a 1-to-1 or one to 1.5. Now, because it's pre-market, I consider this to be pre-market. It only went 1.3, but typically, if it's closer to the open or the 1030, you're going to get a 1.5 to 2.0. All right, that's how I trade. I'm making it as simple as I can. I'm sorry I went over time, but that's exactly what I do every day. There's nuances to this, and there's lots of other different types of trades that I do that are similar to this. For example, if this had been a hammer candle, then that would work too. We had one the other day. I believe it was on NQ. I didn't take it, but I'll give you an example of another way that this can look. At the open here on Wednesday, we had a situation where we busted through the 200, back tested this 15-minute fair value gap and the 200, and came up and finished very strong here. And then your entry was here on this candle, and this one really rocketed quite well. It went up pretty hard, pretty strong. So they come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, but the concept is the same. You got to be, the MACD's got to be with you. Okay, you're green for longs, red for shorts. You have to break through the 200 and then back test it. And the fair value gaps show you the areas where you're going to have turnarounds. Okay, either the tops, bottoms, or middles. And we look at daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, and sometimes 15-minute as well. Okay, I hope that makes it really clear to you how I do this. I will show you that I have been trading this system for not too long, just a couple weeks now, but my P&L has been, I have 7 winning days in a row now since I started using AI to do this. And I use AI, by the way, to really give me lots of nuances around the news, around volume, around prior highs and lows, targets, stops. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's organizing information for me and feeding it back to me. I give it raw data constantly. I update it constantly throughout the morning, and it organizes the information, feeds it back to me, and showing me like nuances and jigsaw puzzle pieces that I haven't seen yet. So that's basically it. Sorry I went on a lot longer than I wanted to, but that's how I trade.